Hello and welcome. You are watching NewsX and I am Megha Sharma. This is Statistically Speaking. Today is day 2 of the poll that we have conducted on the pollution in Delhi. This is our Save Delhi campaign, Right to Breathe campaign. And the questions we ask of our viewers, we have gotten the responses. Let's quickly take a look at the survey results. My question number 1 that I had asked our viewers was, should Delhi turn into a public transport completely electric city to combat pollution? And here's a look at the answers. Yes, at a resounding 83.53%. No is at a 13.99%, maybe at a 2.48%. If you can't take a look at this, take a look at this pie chart where yes at an 83.53%. So a large percentage of you feel that yes, Delhi needs to turn completely electric in terms of its public transport. No at a 13.99%, maybe at a 2.48%. Let's quickly take a look at the second question, which says, are you now considering to buy an EV, a two-wheeler or an EV car? So there you have it. Okay, I'm going to go here. There you have it. You have yes at a 36.62%, no at a 62.13%, maybe at a 1.25%. So this makes us sit and think that while people are angry, upset, frustrated that there is high pollution levels, why is it that they are still hesitant to buy an electric vehicle? Number of percentage of people who don't want to buy the electric vehicle even now is 62.13%. That's quite the percentage of people, majority of the people. Question number 3, let's take a look at that. The third question that we asked our viewers who took the poll was, should we pay farmers to not burn the stubble? So here you see it that yes, people do think that governments must pay the farmers, which is 65.43% of you think that yes, the governments should be paying the farmers to not burn the stubble. 23.40% say no, maybe at a 11.12%. Okay. Let's take a look at the fourth question. The question that we asked our viewers who took the poll was that what do you think is the biggest ease of living issue in Delhi? So there you have it, the figures. The options that we gave them was, is traffic the biggest issue? Is water the biggest issue? Pollution, garbage, or there are others that are the biggest issue? So here you take a look at it. The highest percentage that has been given by the people who have voted in this survey for this question is 41.56% to pollution, traffic at 30.45%, water at 4.11%, garbage at 16.04%. So pollution, and then after that there is traffic, after that there is garbage, and after that there is water, and after that there is others. Alright, now finally the last question that we asked our viewers is the Supreme Court the only hope in combating pollution? Okay, so there's the figure. Yes at a 55.96%. So more than half the percentage of the people who have voted do feel that the judiciary is the last hope in combating pollution. No at a 33.76%, can't say at 10.26%. So now we have taken a look at our survey results. I'm quickly going to get my panelists into this discussion. Let me quickly take you through our guests who are joining us: Ambassador Basuti Mukherjee, Dr. Sanjeev Bagai. I have Dr. Neetu Jain, pulmonologist as well. Ambassador Mukherjee, a situation at this point of time where you have taken a look at how the people have responded. And what was surprising, as a response that has come out is that while people are upset and angry about the increasing pollution levels in Delhi, they refuse to pay to buy they refuse to shift to electric vehicles. They refuse to shift to buying EV, electric vehicles, electric two-wheelers or electric cars. Why do you think there is such a discrepancy in then pushing themselves, the citizens, to do something for the society and be eco-friendly?
First of all, Megha, I recall that the first time you called me over to your studio, you sent me an electric car from NewsX, and that was such a pleasant surprise. It was my first ride in an electric car. So I think that your news channel and all of you are doing your little bit to combat pollution. One of the reasons why the electric car hasn't really taken off is because it is for a middle-aged household. It is rather expensive at the moment, but apparently there are expectations that the price will come down by the end of the year as more companies hit the market. Right now, the Tata electric car is what is gaining popularity. And I actually do agree with those who have said yes to your survey that the electric car is a great solution for Delhi. And in the long run, it's also much cheaper because you don't spend money on petrol. The servicing is much simpler. There is no motor as such. From what I saw, I had a close look when I came to NewsX, and I think it is really the solution for the future. And I think once the prices come down, it's like the solar panels when they first came. They were very expensive, and now the prices have come down, and more households, including in my own colony, are going in for solar panels. More and more companies are using solar instead of using the grid. So these are all changes which take a little bit of time for human beings to accept. But I fully agree with you that the electric vehicle is the way forward for Delhi, Megha.
Yeah.
And congratulations to NewsX that you guys have got these electric cars. I saw 3 of them when I came last time.
Absolutely. Yeah, we've taken this step towards being eco-friendly, and thank you so much. And I hope that people are going to take note and replicate this example, imbibe the thought behind becoming eco-friendly. It is for you, it is for the future generations, it's for a greener, cleaner city. Ambassador Mukherjee, there was another point in the the survey. The question that we raised was, should the government then turn completely eco-friendly when it comes to public transport? Now we already have our metros. Now there has been encouragement that has been shown by the government of Delhi saying that people should switch to metros, especially during this time. They should rather take the metros, public transport. But what is, again, the feasibility of turning everything electric, all the buses, all the autos, the trains, of course we already have them, but it's a there is a long gestation period as well. And are we equipped in terms of having these charging points, electric charging points? Are there enough at this point of time? So all these concerns are valid for the people to then wanting to switch to electric vehicles.
We have to look at it point by point. Like, for instance, the electric cars that NewsX has, they can run for 160 kilometers without being charged, I was told. The bigger model that I would be interested in buying for myself can run for 200 kilometers without being charged. And the charging can be done at home. So we have to look at these issues. For instance, you're talking about scooter drivers. Can they really afford a charging unit, or will the Delhi government have to fix easy charging units where the scooter drivers can go and charge? How many kilometers will that electric scooter run before it is to be charged? These are all technical issues which need to be worked out. But in principle, it is the way of the future. It is the way forward. Yeah. It is like, Megha, when many years ago, before you were born probably, when our then Prime Minister Rajiv Gandhi decided that Air India tickets should be given electronically. And there was so much opposition. And he introduced computers in the Air India booking office. And today, if I tell a young person this, they'll think I'm crazy. But it was 6 months of hell. Air India people went on strike. They said, we don't want this, we don't want that. So introducing change, there is always a certain amount of social resistance. We have to overcome it and push forward. Electric is the way forward for Delhi. We have to accept it. We have to embrace it. We have to hope that technology will become cheaper like solar, and we have to go forward. Megha.
Dr. Bagai, quickly a response from you. As a citizen of Delhi, difficult time, a lot of problems, health problems. People at this point of time are complaining of burning of eyes. People are talking about how their throats are choked. People are talking about how they have to wear these masks. How important does it become for the government to take the first step when it comes to turning Delhi completely electric?
Good evening. So, 3 quick points. One is, of course, needless to say that the Delhi government has been a monumental, catastrophic failure. I mean, pick up any show of last year from any channel. and plug it in today, it will work brilliantly well because the situation is exactly the same, if not worse. Now, we know that the air pollution is today, especially in the morning and in the latter part of the evening, has been really, really bad. We know that the ill effects of it and people are going to be dying at a greater rate with greater multi-organ involvement. What can we actually do? I think the government needs to do the following things which are easy, and we don't need eye candy kind of solution. We need something which is sustainable and scalable. We need to push towards e-vehicles. It's the way forward, and I think it should be a concerted effort from the not only the state government but the central government to propagate this and give proper public awareness messages. Point number two, at least within Delhi, the diesel vehicles must be phased out. You can still buy a brand new diesel vehicle and run it for 10 years. That's the limit. But in those 10 years, there's going to be havoc. Point number three, we need a digital tracking system for traffic congestions. Worldwide, this is being used and areas can be decongested. Point number four is we need all over Delhi proper multi-level car park. The real issue is that the streets are getting clogged, the traffic congestion is there, vehicular pollution increases, and last, most importantly, as far as what the government can do is strict adherence to two parts. Point number A is what we call as construction norms must be adhered to. And point number two is road dust must be got rid of.
Yeah.
Half the roads are dug up, half are being relaid, they're being redug. And lastly, preserve the green cover of the city. It's extremely important to prevent illegal felling of trees, illegal pruning of trees. We must plant more greenery. It's a cliche to say, but that's what's going to save us and the next generation. Over to you.
Dr. Neetu Jain also on the telecast with me. Dr. Neetu, an important question that we had asked our viewers, asked our people who took the poll was whether the governments should pay the farmers to stop burning the stubble. And there were a large percentage of people who were in favor of it. Do you think this would be a feasible for long-term permanent solution going ahead to reduce farm fires?
To start with, we will have to pay farmers to stop crop burning because they cannot afford to take care of the parali or the paddy field waste, and if we are not going to pay them to take care of that paddy field waste, it is not going to work out. In long term, we can make avenues where these things can be taken and put to use in different fashion, making paper, cardboards, and we can establish those. Government can start establishing with the help of group of people and make some cooperatives which can actually make use of these paddy waste, and it can be put to good use. So to start with, I think it's a good idea to pay farmer and encourage them to think in a different fashion rather than burning paddy. I'm sure that farmers are also not too happy burning paddy in the sense that it destroys the topsoil, and people who are worst affected by paddy field burning is our farmers only. So it is a solution to start with at least, but of course it is not a long-term solution.
Okay, you as a Delhiite, you as a citizen of the city, NCR region, must also face the same problems as we all are facing currently. You know, there is a heavy smog, this cloud of smog that has just engulfed us. There is no sunlight. It's a shocking situation to be in. In fact, I had spoken to a number of friends who don't live in Delhi, or those who are foreign nationals who've just arrived in Delhi. You know, a bad experience for them. They said they might just never want to come back to Delhi during this period of time, which is also a period which is supposed to be the best time for tourists to come into Delhi. This is a festive period. This is the best weather time. You know, not too cold, not too hot. How can, like again, how can governments be pressed into taking substantial actions?
So it has to be. We know the problem. See, and not looking at it from that point of view is not going to solve the problem. We have to stop government and every other party who is part of administration will have to stop the blame game and take into account everything. Everything means starting from vehicular pollution, crop burning, firecrackers, construction which is rampant and going on without regulations, small fire burnings in your neighborhood. So if we have failed to take account of everything and make regulation for everything, it is not going to work out. If we want to save Delhi from further humiliation, and if we want to save ourselves from further health ill effect, this is the only way forward, that we have to work together. So I know that people have voted that Supreme Court is an answer. It can be an answer, but these are day-to-day administration which should be come in government's field area, and it should be a joint effort by central government, state government, local administration, city administration, to take care of everything, including the pollution control board.
Okay, all right. Now, Master Mukherjee, you've lived in Delhi your entire life. The situation wasn't the way it is, and it is again they're setting up a very bad precedent for the future generations. Do you think more and more Delhiites? I've met so many friends. I know so many people who had during this period of time leave Delhi and only come back in November after the Diwali period, after Diwali gets over. So, is this then going to become a norm? Is this a good norm to follow for any city?
I think it's better for Delhiites to study a little bit about the history of big cities as their countries become large emerging economies. This has happened in Beijing. When we used to read Sherlock Holmes books, we know what London was like. When a country becomes industrialized rapidly, particularly a country that was colonized for 180 years and has to leapfrog into a new setup, these kind of issues arise, and they need to be managed, as my two colleagues have said, they need to be managed by the government, local government, and also by the people who live in that city. For instance, Beijing till about 4 years ago was very polluted. Singapore gets very polluted when Indonesia starts burning its forest leaves. So we have to think of solutions. Running away from Delhi is no solution. And moreover, I would tell my friends who are very rich and who non-stop discuss on WhatsApp, I find that quite amusing. How are they going to control? How are they going to put a filter on the AC, etc.? And I tell them that you cannot stay cooped up in your house the whole day. You have to take normal precautions, wear a double mask, etc. But if you think that you're just going to stay in your bedroom and keep the AC on or whatever method you have, you are actually leading an artificial life. And you are not thinking of all the poorer people who don't have such expensive options. What are they doing? You have to think of them too. So in my opinion, as far as the farmer parali is concerned, we had a very interesting discussion on NewsX yesterday, Megha, with one of your colleagues.
Yeah.
And one of the doctor colleagues, I don't think it was Dr. Bagai, I think it was Dr. Rao, he mentioned that one solution now is to use that parali, or whatever it's called in Hindi, as biofuel. That's a cheaper option than paying the farmers, and it is an option that can be then used for renewable energy. He said that this was an option which the government was studying. This certainly is something that we could think about, of using it as biofuel.
Okay.
As far as the running away from Delhi is concerned, I have never run away from any situation in my life. I've lived in Delhi all my life. I have handled this situation, and I believe that people in Delhi, instead of going out for early morning walk at 6 o'clock without wearing any mask, etc., they should consult their doctor. If they should walk at a later time. If they have to go out, they should wear a double cotton mask like I do. And they should also think that there are lots of poor people who don't have anything, and try to think of how to help them also.
Okay. Okay. Dr. Bagai, again, it's harder said than done. The idea is you're going to save yourself, save your family, and then you take a look at how the community functions, how the poorer strata of the community is going to function. I think, I mean, me as a person, I myself have been cooped up at home. So the only travel that I'd make is to office. That too, I'm stepping out of my car and then getting into the studios, again stepping into my car and then going back home. So the doors and windows of my house are at all times shut, which is unfortunate. And the weather is so beautiful, the temperatures are low, but I still have to put on the ACs because of the stuffiness. So, and then you're obviously putting on your air purifier. So this is a very difficult, deplorable situation to be in.
Yeah, I think the winter months we'll have to modulate our work culture, our lifestyle. I think early morning walk, especially for the children going to school, that's been stopped because of the schools being closed for the primary school. But early morning walks for the elderlies or those with comorbidities is not a good idea. I think the temperature is at the lowest at that time, and there is a smog which settles in because of the dew factor, and it hangs in very low. So you're inhaling perhaps the worst part of the air in the early mornings. Severe and vigorous exercises, especially for those people in the cold weather, is not a good idea. Using an inhaler is always useful, especially if you're an asthmatic or you have past history of wheezing. Do not self-medicate. That's the advice. Please check with your local doctor. For every cough, do not burst into antibiotics. That's also not a good idea. Don't neglect a lingering or a chronic cough. And do not take any alternative herbal, undiagnosed, unknown medication. It can cause long term harm. Hydrate yourself well. Please use a mask which is of a good specification. Example, a N95 or at least a double surgical mask. It should be a well fitting mask. Go out if it is a must. If you can avoid, don't step out, especially at the more polluted times of the day or the late evenings, and look after your health. Comorbidities is a huge factor to precipitate sudden death, sudden cardiac arrest, strokes, hypertensive crisis, and other medical disorders.
Yeah.
So I think we need to keep it simple and tide over this period, and hopefully the Delhi government will open its eyes.
Okay, there's always hope. But Dr. Jain, the situation such as this, we take all the precautions, but also an unfortunate thing that, yeah, today, you're also coughing. So I can understand the pollution is so bad. It's just, impregnating our homes as well.
Exactly.
Yeah, so a situation so dire, but what's unfortunate is that it lasts for 3 weeks, 4 weeks, and then the politicians forget about it, the citizens forget about it. Or are we forced to forget about it? Why is such a problem that it perennially happens, but just because it happens for 1 month of the year, therefore people just move on and forget about it? Is it because we are forced to forget it because the politicians won't do anything?
I cannot say that we are forced to forget it. See, human beings are such, that they tend to forget things very fast and then, move on to next thing. And it is a bad thing which happened to us. That's why our problems are never solved. So time to solve this problem is not now. For this discussion is not now. This discussion should happen through the year. So when the time come, we have solutions in place beforehand. So we were not even discussing it in September. We were not even discussing it in August. That was the time when we should have discussed it, when flu was coming, when winter was approaching. So some solution we could have found. Obviously, politician will forget it as soon as citizen will forget it, because then everybody is happy, so there is no action needed. There is a discussion only for a month. I don't understand why should we only discuss it for a month. We should have this discussion in August or September, so that government is also forced to take some action for this.
Yeah, government needs to take action for it. But your suggestion, your advice to everybody who's still stuck in Delhi?
So as Dr. Bagai has already told us, use a good quality mask when you are moving out of your house, which is necessarily should be an N95 mask. You can use an N95 with expiratory valve to make your breathing easier. It's not like COVID that you cannot use N95 with expiratory valve. You can use N95 with expiratory valve. You should not exercise early in the morning or late in the evening, because air is colder then, and you are breathing much more pollutants or particulate matter at that point in time. So try to do the outdoor work, whatever is necessary, between 11 to 4, when air is little warmer and it is lighter and you are not breathing too many pollutants. If you are a person who have respiratory disorder, you should take care of your medication, visit your physician, respiratory physician, and modulate your drug doses, or increase need of drug accordingly. Do not stop your medication inadvertently thinking that you're fine. and do not self-treat your infections, because most of the infections are viral and they can lead to prolonged cough. So if you are having a cough which is more than a week long or so, do not take cough remedies inadvertently, and visit your physician so as to know that what is causing this cough. Most
Okay.
of my patients at this point in time is voicing a long cough, and they most of them require inhaler, and a lot of them even require oral steroids. So they are not getting better with neither home remedies or usual cough syrups.
Okay. All right.
Sorry.
I'm sorry that at this point of time you are suffering from a bad cough there. Take care, Dr. Jain. Obviously, a situation which is being faced by several of the people. In fact, maximum number of people in Delhi is facing the same problem: choked throat, burning eyes, respiratory problems, asthma patients at this point of time suffering much more acutely. But I thank all of you for joining me on the telecast, sharing your views on this matter. Thank you all for joining us on the telecast on Statistically Speaking. This was poll number 2 on the pollution crisis in Delhi. Thank you for all your responses. Also respond to us, tell us how you liked that episode, and stay tuned, because next week we are going to bring out another Statistically Speaking survey. It is going to be another burning issue in our country, and we'll follow up with all of you on what you feel is the news and how you interpret it. Thanks for watching.
For more such videos, subscribe to the NewsX YouTube channel, hit the bell icon.